Some of my earliest memories have to do with food. And it's interesting for me because I went through quite a bit of my life with a lot of repressed memories from my childhood, but I almost always remembered the ones that involved food. And one such memory was when I was about 5 or 6 years old at my great grandmother's house, so my granny's mom, and I stuffed my face, and I remember having this not having control. I was really kind of like animalistic type of eating and just kind of stuffing my face, and um, and then feeling really, really sick on my way home. And I had to walk up this hill to get back to my granny's house. And I was so full, I had a splitting headache, and I knew I had eaten too much. And I vowed never to eat that much again. But I would repeat that pattern for decades up until last year, this day last year, Christmas Day 2021, I showed up at an online meeting for people who had eating behaviors, and I showed up there for two reasons. I showed up there because I had done a big cutoff with two sides of the family, my husband's side of the family, and my family, and I was feeling quite lonely and isolated. So I showed up at that meeting for people. Um, but I also showed up because I knew that my eating had gone out of control. And it felt like every year the eating got worse. And just when I thought I had it in control, um, I realized that I didn't. And it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And at the height of it, I was binging and purging. Um, if you don't know what purging is, it's where because you've overeaten, you're trying to get rid of the consequences of overeating, right? And that can be through vomiting, it can be through exercise purging. I did that too. Um, I remember around 3 years ago, I would go to the gym for like 3 hours to really counteract the overeating. But yeah, I also purge through making myself sick. And so last year when I showed up, I actually showed up for the overeating because I had, through some miracle, stopped the purging. Not the exercise purging, but the making myself sick. Um, but yeah, the exercise, I was still like trying to do like 20,000 steps a day, like up and down a hill near my house. But through a miracle, and I think it was from being pregnant with my third baby that, I really kind of just white knuckled it, but also prayed through it, if that makes sense. Anyway, cut a long story short, showed up last year on Christmas Day, and it took me about 2 months to fully accept the helplessness of my situation. And it was not until February where I really um, saw that there were some foods that I couldn't eat in moderation. And some of those things are like sugar, chocolate, things like that. Refined sugar. And I realized that I couldn't really um, eat them without overeating them. And so I gave them up, and things were going really great for about 2 months until my son's birthday in April. And when I was like, I got somebody to make like a vegan high protein cake, but it still had sugar in it. And, I ended up kind of binging on it for like 2 days. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I'm back at this again. And since then, I have not touched sugar. And I'm not telling you all of this to say how that I'm great, because I'm not. I'm literally through this program, through this 12-step program, I'm able to hand my eating issues my compulsive eating behaviors and all of that. I'm able to hand that over to a higher power, power greater than myself. And also I'm able to connect with other people who have the same issue as me. And not only that, I also have a sponsor who supports me, and I can call them whenever I'm feeling triggered, whenever I'm feeling whenever I have cravings. But the beautiful thing for me is that the food was never the problem. It was the reason that I ate was the problem. So I ate to feel in control. I ate whenever I felt sad. I ate to celebrate. I ate, this is making me emotional. I ate for other reasons other than food. But then the food kept me there as well. I just wanted to encourage somebody who's had a really tough day today from overeating. And there's hope. I just want to let you know that there's hope.